smiling totally fits inside of a coaching conversation. In fact, the harder the topic of your coaching, the tougher the time your client's going through, the more important this thing becomes. We don't have to worry about that yet. You're merely showing through your tone of voice and your body language that you are engaged in this conversation, that you actually care about what the person has to say. Because if you don't care, you're not much of a coach. So coaching is a caring profession. All the techniques in the world mean nothing if you're apathetic. You can't just go through the motions and still be a good coach. So if apathetic listening is destroying the conversation that we need to do any kind of coaching with, then what do you think the opposite's likely to be? What are we likely to call the kind of listening we need to do that's going to create a good context for a coaching session? Engaged, empathic, right? Empathetic, that's exactly what we're looking for, right? So this is going to be the basic way of doing empathetic listening. Number one, actually pay attention to your client. Number two, show them you're paying attention. One is visually, you're actually looking at them. And number two, you're going to give them support sounds, little aha, little head nods, right? These are all indicators that you're basically paying attention. Now, I want you to notice how it feels different now that the exact same person is looking at you, nodding their head, and giving you the occasional, okay, the kind of sounds that tells you they're actually engaged in what you're doing. Does that make sense? So we don't have to go down the active listening part yet. In other words, active listening in the terms of like you're giving feedback and all that sort of stuff. We don't have to worry about that yet. You're merely showing through your tone of voice and your body language that you are engaged in this conversation, that you actually care about what the person has to say. Because if you don't care, you're not much of a coach, at least not for that person. Make sense? What we're looking to do is collect as many of those little insights as possible, little principles like that as possible, right? I want to take this principle. What should we call this principle so far, right? So we've got this, if someone calls it engagement. What else do you want to call this? Give me some words here. Or do you want to call the principle that's starting to emerge from our conversation so far? What's making this conversation, if you could say one thing, one word, that's making this easier? Rapport, curiosity. I'm not quite sure my gaff there. Presence, focus, attention, captivating, caring. Good. So these are good words for this, right? I want to add a second nuance and see if that changes your choice of words of how you describe whatever we're doing to make this conversation work for us. We're going to put you into rooms with new people now. This time, I want you to keep doing what's already working. In other words, all this support stuff is going to be there. Your smile, your support sounds, aha, and so on. All that carries on as is natural to you. The thing I want you to add this time is when you find something that the client is saying that you really agree with, I want you to really agree with it. I want you to see if we can refine the idea of the support sounds one step further. I want you to project a sense of cheerfulness next as the coach. So we've already showed that we're engaged. We've shown that we're interested. I want it to be a general atmosphere of an emotional tone of cheerfulness. So this is a pleasant conversation. Now, how are we going to do this? There are three key components or three channels through which you can communicate this. Your eyes is one of them, right? If your eyes are flat, let me see if I can do this. I can't even do this without actually laughing. So that changes it a bit, right? If your eyes become flat and bored and so on, your eyes tell a lot about your mental state, right? So if your eyes are disengaged, then your mind tends to be disengaged. So your eyes will communicate a lot. Make friendly eye contact, I guess, is the easy way of calling that. And number two, what do we do when we're having a good time? What does our face like to do? Give you a little hint right here. Anyone want to say it? Say it before I freeze like this. Yes, exactly, right? So feel free to smile. Smiling totally fits inside of a coaching conversation. In fact, the harder the topic of your coaching, the tougher the time your client's going through, the more important this thing becomes. Make sense? The third channel, and this is a powerful channel, is the tone of your voice, right? Show animation in it. Show that you are cheerful. There's a cheerful sound to your voice, isn't there? As opposed to a phone of voice that just says, I really am interested in what you're saying. Please tell Mr. Robot Man more about what you want to do because I'm really interested in you, right? You get how there's a different emotion being communicated by that tone. So let's just cultivate a generally cheerful tone that will work wonders in terms of the context within which coaching work gets done. Does it make sense, guys? So we'll kind of carry on with the support sounds and the general internal engagement. And now we're going to externalize it a little bit further. So not only just using the words, aha, and so on, the supporting sounds in general, we're going to add the visuals to go with it, the eye contact, make it friendly, the smile, make it friendly, and above all else, that tone of voice. Because the reason, anyone care to guess as to why the tone of voice is especially important in coaching? Anyone care guess as to why that might be useful to you as a coach? So we have that sort of more general unconscious communication. That's right. Keep going, because it models how we want them to feel. Perhaps actually right. It's a model of emotion. Voice tone is a model of emotion. It's soothing. It's encouraging. It's harmony. Yes. But as right as all these things are, and they're absolutely correct and spot on, there's one other advantage this gives you. It means you can coach on the phone. It means you can coach in the absence of visual information, because your tone will still convey that emotional component that otherwise you would convey with your smile, with a friendly gesture, and so on. So if they can't see you, they can still feel you through your voice. Does that make sense to everyone? And Sean's saying smiling can be heard. Yes. And the reason smiling can be heard is because it alters your voice. It alters how your voice, it actually alters the shape of your mouth. And that in turn alters how your voice projects. Does it make sense?